Hello, and welcome to our Top of Mind podcast. In this program, we will sit down with a higher education thought leader to discuss how faculty and students are being supported through COVID-19. I'm your host, Caitlin O'Connell from the Tambellini Group. I'm joined today by Ellina Chernobilsky, who serves as the Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs. Her portfolio includes faculty development, graduate studies, and online studies. Over the next few minutes, we are going to hear about how Caldwell University, a small Catholic liberal arts institution in the Northeast, has been reacting to the COVID-19 crisis. Let's get started. Welcome to the program, Ellina.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
As we start, I'd love for you to tell us more about yourself and Caldwell.
Sure. I came to Caldwell in 2008, and at that time it was sleepy little college that nobody knew about. In the last, give or take a decade, Caldwell has transformed itself to be a vibrant institution with lots of interesting offerings to students. We have grown to offer lots of academic, athletic, and other programs where students can thrive. The university had started 75 years ago as a Caldwell College for Women. The mission of the university was to serve underprivileged women who could then join the workforce as teachers. Since then, Caldwell has transformed itself in many different ways. It became a co-ed institution. It started offering lots of different majors. It gradually started offering graduate programs, including doctorate programs in applied behavior analysis and educational leadership. And now Caldwell is dealing with an interesting situation that all the universities are dealing with, and trying to reposition itself to remain relevant and to maintain its mission without interruption to students, to faculty, and to staff.
So tell us more about how COVID-19 has impacted your campus.
It's interesting that although campus physical structure is closed for business, we remain live and try to remain vibrant, but now we are in virtual mode, and that is the biggest and most impactful change for everybody. So we're all learning to live our lives in this new virtual space. Although we do have a pretty vibrant online offerings for the students, we now are faced with everything being online, not just some courses or some programs. Everything is online. Student support, decision making on cabinet level, faculty support, anything you can think of is now virtual, and that is a huge change for everybody. It's a tremendous learning curve for everybody, and so that, I would say, would be the biggest impact on our campus.
So one of the things I've seen talked about a lot on Twitter is how institutions should handle grades. So what decisions have you made on your campus about handling grades and handling exams?
Right. This was a point of conversation probably 3 weeks ago when we were just beginning to understand the new reality. One of the very first decisions that have been made on the academic affairs side is to pull together the faculty council and academic leadership and discuss how all of this will impact grades and end of the semester policies. A couple of things have been decided, and I want to make sure that I underscore this. Sometimes people say that in the time of crisis, shared governance does not work because things are slow. But that was not true in case of Caldwell. Faculty and leadership got together, and it was a lot of intense conversations in virtual meetings and emails, um, and the decisions have been made, and I'm very happy with what decisions we have made. So a couple of things. First of all, we allowed students to have pass fail optional, which means the students could see how they're doing and request, instead of having a letter grade, request a pass or fail grade. And
Mm.
with pass fail, we had considered the fact that for graduate students, for example, a lot of the times employers would reimburse students, and they need to be assured that pass is really a pass, right? That the student is competent uh, in the in the skills and knowledge that they have gained. For some students, applying to graduate school is important, and so graduate schools need to be assured that pass is really a pass. So the
Mhm.
decision has been made to actually offer three grades. It's a pass, it's a low pass, and then it's a fail. And we have looked at other institutions in making this decision, and then discussed this on campus extensively before the decision was made. So that's one. And then another decision was made is to relax an incomplete policy, because as students are making decisions about whether or not they want a grade or a pass fail, they're also faced with tremendous challenges. You know, many of our students are first responders,
Oh, wow.
so they may not be in the position to even attend to to studies right now. Many of our students were located in New Jersey, so many of our students are affected by either being sick or their families being ill.
Mhm.
Many of our students have food insecurities. Many of our students have to study in crowded homes. So we have made a decision to relax an incomplete policy. Generally, our policy says that students has to complete about 80% of work to even begin discussions of incomplete, but that policy has been relaxed for the time being, and it's now about 60%, and at the discretion of an instructor whether or not the incomplete should be considered. So I know that our faculty are reaching out to students and have those conversations with students about those policies, especially students who are in internships right now or are supposed to be in internships right now, because not all internship sites were able to go virtual. So some students need that flexibility in order
Mhm.
to complete complete their required work.
So I'm sure there are just so many decisions that have to be made, not just for this point in time, but as we think about the summer and the fall terms.
Right. So we are already thinking about that, and since we don't know when the state will relax the rules about quarantine and self-isolation, we are really thinking about Plan A, um, opening up the campus and having maybe a new normal, but in physical location.
Mhm.
Plan B, which probably means some sort of hybrid conversations where some faculty may be available in class, some will be online, maybe there will be session A online and session B in person. I don't quite know how this will look like. And then plan C, where we continue in 100% virtual mode. These conversations are just beginning. Our primary concern is finishing up the semester strong, but the moment we're done, summer session kicks in.
Mhm.
So the decision about first summer session it has been made already. It's going to be virtual. As for the second half of the summer, this is to be determined right now.
So are you thinking about hiring instructional designers for these summer terms, or maybe continuing into the fall if you do have to be fully online? Because, to your point, this is a totally new normal, and this online first mentality is very new.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I just talked to our HR. We're thinking of hiring two part-time instructional designers for the summer at least, and then the decision will be made as to whether that offer needs to be extended. The idea behind all of this is that the support of the faculty. For many of our faculty, online world is a completely new world. They've heard about it. They read a lot of chronicle publications about teaching online. They may even attended a conference or two. We certainly offer a lot of professional development sessions, but all of this was very abstract. A few months ago, they were of a mindset that I prefer being in classroom with my students and seeing my students as a group. I prefer, I prefer to actually interact with my students during office hours in my office, and
Right.
being comfortable. Um, and now it's gone, and so faculty need a lot of hand holding right now, where not only just being online, but the entire pedagogical paradigm is being shifted. Teaching and learning online is very different from teaching and learning in face-to-face environment. There's different set of rules that is in play, and so faculty need to be supported, and they need to know that we're there for them. That's why the decision to hire two part-time instructional designers has been made. We do have 3 people in the Office of Online Education. 2 of them are instructional technologists, so they can help with, putting the courses online. They can help with advice on, how to be ADA compliant. They can offer ideas about how to implement things. But larger conversations about how do we best teach online in terms of pedagogy and pedagogical content need to happen with instructional designer, and we have just one person like that, and that's our director of online education of the Office of Online Education. And so she needs help, and that's why we are doing this, to support her as well as our faculty.
I'm sure that there are so many different situations you have to deal with as well, with faculty and students, that is also just completely new to the institution because there's never been a situation like this.
Yes. So we understood very quickly that we really need to be creative in how we are offering that help. We have created, we have a portal for faculty and students. So we have created separate pages for faculty and students where it's kind of a one-stop shop where they can go and read about the current status and sort of up to the minute information on what the university is doing, what the state is doing. On the faculty side of things, there are lots of references to readings and podcasts and professional development recordings that they could go to. But in the first 2 weeks of this, our Office of Online Education worked around the clock to really support the faculty in moving the instruction online and just give the bare bones structure basically to everybody. I also want to mention that we have a lot of faculty who are quite familiar with teaching online because they've been doing that. And many of them are adjunct faculty. And I have to give an acknowledgement to those faculty who felt that they were comfortable enough to reach out to their colleagues and to offer sessions for the first 2 weeks, right alongside with online education staff. Those faculty were offering sessions, were working one-on-one with faculty, where giving best practices and sharing their knowledge and expertise. Now that we semi-settled in the routine, I have 9 or so faculty members who are holding peer office hours, and they're available a couple hours a week, where faculty who need help and support could reach out to them during set hours and have those conversations. Much like when students need support, they reach out to faculty. The faculty could reach out to their peers and learn from them. And I know this is being utilized by faculty quite a lot. So this is one of the ways we support it. On the student side, we had to move our operations of the Student Success Center, of the library, of Wellness Center entirely online. And again, some creative ideas were born. So for example, I know that we are offering virtual yoga sessions where students can log in and the instructor is right there and they're working together. There are sessions on mindfulness and meditation that are all virtual. Our Office of Student Life is trying to keep the campus spirit alive by offering lots of different workshops and get-togethers and social hours, just to help students sort of maintain that feeling of community. And that's important not just students, but for everybody, but students especially, right? We have also created an early alert system for where faculty can reach out to us and tell us whether any students are experiencing any issues in the classrooms in virtual environment. They can let us know, and then we have developed a support system where our administrative assistants are reaching out to students and asking them whether, what the nature of the issue is. And some students report that they or their loved ones are sick with COVID. Some are saying, I have issues with technology. Some are saying, I'm in an overcrowded home and they can only do work late at night when everybody is asleep, so can the professor be flexible, and so on. So we are then relaying this information to the appropriate people on campus to make sure that our students are being helped. So we're trying to create that loop where the professor is telling us what the need is, we're reaching out to the student, and then we get either back to the professor, or we talk to wellness center, or we do some other outreach that needs to be done in order to maintain that. And I have learned just today that some of the admins are telling me that it is so important that students are thrilled that we're reaching out to them, that students are in need of that right now, and many request follow-up calls just to make sure that we're checking on them. Our admins are also telling us that parents then pick up the call and start talking to them because they feel that they need they feel the need for that connection.
Right.
And I think when I read this email this morning, it really brought tears to my eyes, because I thought that what we're doing is really, really important for the community at large, because Caldwell maintains the presence, and that's important for everybody.
So to keep students engaged and to keep your faculty engaged, have you had to deploy any new technologies?
I wouldn't call them new to the world, but they're definitely new to Caldwell. We are a Google school, so we, the default was to go to the Google Hangout Meets. So faculty had to get trained on this. Google Chat is important feature, and our IT has been working around the clock to make sure that faculty are equipped with these tools. But admins are making phone calls, wellness centers reaching out to people. So tools like My Collab needed to be installed.
Mm-hmm.
We still need to get access to our office computers, so VPN connections needed to be established. Our IT is researching tools like whiteboarding and virtual communication. So we're constantly adding to the toolkit that the faculty and staff can use. And none of this would have been possible without really dedication of our IT department, who is really literally working around the clock, making sure that everything is workable, connections are there, and that faculty and students can remain in touch. One of the new things that we're trying is virtual honors convocation, and for this we're using Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
and we're trying to figure out how all of this will work. So this is a brand new area for all of us, and I'm really excited about this because this maybe does pave the way for a new normal that we may all experience for a while.
Well, and there are so many moving parts. How have you seen decisions being made? I know earlier you mentioned that faculty are really involved. Who is in charge? How are you establishing how decisions are being made moving forward? Because you talked about this idea of shared governance, and in higher ed, shared governance usually means a lot of deliberation and taking a long
Right.
time.
On Caldwell campus, we have a pandemic response team, and that is the team of administrators and staff who get together regularly to discuss the important decisions and to understand where we need to go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Those decisions are sort of very high level decisions that get a lot of them are financial in nature, and dealing with government and understanding the government direction, things like that. On an academic affairs level, our vice president for academic affairs has established a couple of groups. One group, she calls them SEALs, is the group of her immediate reports that include the registrar. I sit on that group. Academic Support Center is represented, and also institutional research, because in all of this craziness, we rely on the data we already have and try to understand what data we need in order to make informed decisions. She also has a group of senior leaders, chairs, and associate deans that comprise a different group of people who she regularly consults with on issues of pertaining to faculty and academics. And then normal channels of communication, academic leadership meetings, curriculum committee, faculty council, all of them are involved on one level or another to make decisions that deal with academics.
What would you say would be the top lessons that you've learned that may benefit our listeners about student and faculty support through this process?
Well, I think this crisis more than ever underscores the need not to work in silos and to keep the lines of communication open among many different constituencies. Different and difficult decisions are being made, and that requires difficult and different conversations among many, just so that the morale is there, and really the understanding of what it means for the institution, for the students, and for the community at large is there. Some of those decisions might not seem kind to some, but those decisions are necessary in order to keep the institution going,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, the decision has been made to close campus to maintain the healthy environment, but not everybody is gone. We have a lot of international students who are still residing on campus. So thinking about how can we support those students, how can we feed those students, how can we make sure that those students are healthy while also keeping the campus intact is important. So when we come back, in whichever way, shape, or form it will be, there will be more difficult decisions. And keeping the lines of communication open, to me, is the most important thing we can do to remain successful leaders.
Ellina, thanks for joining me today and for sharing your experience at Caldwell.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to be with you. I appreciate the opportunity.
This concludes our Top of Mind podcast. Please stay safe during these challenging times. Check back with us next month for another new topic. And don't forget to check out Tambellini's other resources on our blog and YouTube channel.